Hi, this is Jack Schaub, and this is Chiller Service Advice, a video log designed for the curious observer to the seasoned HVAC professional. This is episode 6, What is subcooling and how is it used out there in the industry? Subcooling itself, knowing what it is crucial into knowing whether or not your refrigeration system is undercharged, overcharged, or properly charged. So subcooling itself ends up being the measurement of the high discharge pressure when it changes from a gas to a liquid and then further cooled. So for instance, give you an example. You have your gauges on, your system is 407C and your high side pressure is 225 psi, which is the only one that you're going to look at for subcooling. And you look at the inner ring for 407C and the temperature is approximately 100 degrees. So you take that data point, and that actually is where the refrigerant in the condenser is changing from a gas into a liquid. Next thing you do is you actually measure the temperature of the exiting line from the condenser, called the liquid line, before it gets to the metering valve, your clamp and infrared, however you want to measure the temperature, and you take that data point, and the difference between the two is your subcooling. Now, if you have a system that is not fully charged, your subcooling is going to be very close. They're almost going to be nearly identical, and likely you're going to have bubbles in the sight glass. If you have a huge temperature difference, let's say 25 or more, then it's either overcharged in some way, shape, or form, or you have non-condensables in the system. Give you another example for 410A. You put your gauges on, the system's 410A refrigerant, the high side pressure is running 350 pounds, and you look down at the 410A temperature inner ring, and that's about 105. You take that data point, and again, you go to the liquid line before the metering valve, and you measure the temperature of the liquid line, and it will end up being a temperature that's less. And the difference between the two is where subcooling comes into place. So it basically, the refrigerant, after it changes state, is cooled more, and that's the temperature difference of subcooling. So normal subcooling on systems can be anywhere from 10 to 20, ideally 15. If you have much more than 20, it could be overcharged. If you have much less than 10, it could be lightly charged. So this gives you an idea, without even having to look at the sight glass, whether or not your system has a full head of liquid before it gets into the expansion valve, so that the system can run effectively. I hope this has helped, and I'll see you next time.